I'm pretty confident in saying that at some point in your life, I bet you've been sat down for a pretty awkward conversation, and maybe you've tackled this problem head on. Maybe you try to smooth things over with the band-aid because that felt better than bleeding out, better than avoiding a mess or making one. And, whatever path you took, you had your reasons. Selfish, selfless, or somewhere in between. Obsession is a movie that quietly discusses what people do during those moments. Who they choose to become when reality is standing right in front of them, when life works into different ways, when a lie builds into something deadly and risks not only you, but the people you love. As much as this film is about the very real dangers of love and obsession, like the name suggests, and robbing someone of freedom, I found that it also showed the harm of avoidance too. It's like having a pile of crap sitting in the corner of your room. When it starts smelling bad, you spray air freshener on it. Now you've got an air freshener smelling pile of crap. The problem never left. You just made it a tiny bit easier to ignore. And that's what so many people do. We trade long-term solutions for short-term comfort. We choose temporary relief over lasting peace because dealing with the pile of crap means accepting a little discomfort first. We've seen this behavior a lot. Again, maybe we recognize it in ourselves, but I've certainly seen it in true crime as well. Chandler Halderson comes to mind, so does Chris Watts. And it's unfortunately a very real motive for these horrific acts. That's why nothing will ever scare me more than people. Nothing supernatural, nothing out of this world, not rampaging animals. It's people. You don't know what someone is capable of, or what they're willing to do when they get to a certain point. Maybe this threshold is low, and that's scary too. I believe we all have some side to ourselves that would scare us if it ever peered around the corner. But back to Obsession. I won't spoil the entire movie because honestly, I think it's worth seeing for yourself. Grab a friend, maybe a few friends, maybe not a date. The story follows a young man whose crush on one of his friends slowly grows into something much larger and much more destructive. What begins as a simple emotional problem eventually spirals into something dangerous. By the end, he's forced to make a choice he's spent the entire movie trying to avoid alongside guilt. Most of us won't find ourselves in this exact situation that this character does. If you do, I'm so sorry. I definitely can't help you on that one. But we know what it's like to avoid a conversation, to hold onto a fantasy because reality hurts, to say everything's alright when it couldn't be further from the truth, to tell ourselves we'll deal with something tomorrow, then next week, then next month, until the consequences become impossible to ignore. I'm not asking who's right or who's wrong in this movie. I'm not really here to debate that, honestly. I'm more interested in how far someone is willing to go, how much damage they're willing to justify in order to keep living a version of reality that only exists in their own head. Because eventually every illusion comes with a price. And when the bill finally arrives, the question becomes simple. If your choices are hurting people, even the people you claim to care about, are you willing to sacrifice your comfort for their well-being? Or will you keep pretending everything is fine until there's nothing left to save? And that's what hit me after the credits rolled. Obsession is the realization that sometimes the hardest thing a person can do is stop lying to themselves.